To the Chief Justice of India. I'll first tell you the details of that letter and then we'll go across to Abhishek getting us more details of what this letter says. Now this letter here on your screen to the Chief Justice of India, Supreme Court of India, saying that the Supreme Court should take suo moto, clarify that its judgment in the Zakia Jafri case was not intended to have any adverse consequences whatsoever on Teesta, Setalvad, R.V. Sri Kumar and others. And this is a letter where they have written, that is the so-called concerned citizens, writing that they express their agony that the state police justify the arrest on the basis of the Supreme Court judgment. They're basically defending Teesta Setalvad and going on to quote from the Supreme Court observation while giving out that order, adding that they are perplexed with the statement that intriguingly the present proceedings have been pursued for the last 16 years. And that the Supreme Court itself ordered an investigation by a special investigation team. Now, they're adding that the sequence of events now after the court order has sent a chilling message for the practice of law in the courts and for the rule in the country. It appears that a petitioner or a witness who diligently pursues a cause in the courts runs the risk of being put in the dock if court deems the cause as devoid of merits. Now, who are the people who've signed this letter? I have some of the names here. Let me go through the names and I'll go across to Abhishek. Anjana Prakash, K.S. Chauhan, Justice Amar Saran, Avani Bansal, Anand Grover, Indira Jaising, some familiar names here. Anand Grover, Indira Jaising, Paranjoy Guha, Thakurta, Ramchandra Guha, Sanjay Hegde, Anjana Mishra, Tushar Gandhi, Fuzail Ahmed, Ayubi, Captain Mir Afzal Hussain, Arvind Narayan, Professor Manoj Kumar Jha, Kavita Krishnan, Ravi Nair, Chandar Uday Singh, Nitya Ramakrishnan, Sanjay Singhvi, Raj Gandhi, and the name goes on and on. Syed Naqvi, Saif Mahmood, Shivani Sangvi, etc. So there are about 300 people who have written this letter, and Indira Jaising and Anand Grover among them. And not surprising because they have been batting for Teesta Setalvad. Abhishek joining us on the broadcast on this letter. Abhishek, what do you make of this attempt now being made to write to the Supreme Court of India and ask for the CJI to clarify?
Well, they have picked up a technicality, Niranjan, that any Supreme Court order should not be used as a precursor to an FIR. But the larger point is, Niranjan, that they were silent on the issue of Ketki Chitle.
Yeah.
They were silent on the issue of Arnab Goswami.
Yeah.
We did not see them coming and writing a letter when Uddhav government was after Ketki Chitle or before that with Arnab. And also, Niranjan, one interesting bit that I found going through the list, I have not been able to go through all the 300 names, but a good number of them are those people who were part of Teesta's ecosystem.
Right.
They were supporting Teesta in the courts, be it the likes of Nitya Ramakrishnan, be it Indira Jaising, other names. They were an eco chamber which was supporting whatever Teesta was doing. Now, essentially what this is, Niranjan, cutting all the flab, is that they are coming to defend one of their own. It's nothing beyond that. The fact of the matter is that against Teesta, there were already FIRs. The Ahmedabad crime branch was already investigating stuff. There was a CBI investigation that was going on. There are cases of embezzlement of funds, and those have been investigated. There has been evidence that has been already collected. And in couple of instances, Teesta, because she thought that she is above law, or more importantly, that she has the same ecosystem.
Can I pause you right there and go across to Gaurav Bhatia to get the first reaction? Gaurav Bhatia of the BJP responding, the first response coming in from the BJP to this letter. Your response, your party's response, Gaurav, to this attempt to sort of shield Teesta from the Gujarat police?
Every citizen and every lobby should respect the law of the land, and nobody is above the law. And the prosecuting agencies are doing their job. There is evidence against the person concerned and CID treatment to a person to stop. These attempts were made earlier also, and it is their habit to write such letters which have no value as such, because a citizen should be seeking legal remedies than writing these letters directly.
Okay. Gaurav Bhatia, thank you for joining us. That's Gaurav Bhatia there, the first response coming in. Let me also get in Nalin Kohli, who's also an advocate and also member of the BJP.
I have to ask her.
Okay, you want to ask Nalin the question? Go ahead, Abhishek. Abhishek is asking the next question.
Nalin, you closely watch these people since you are active in the Supreme Court of the country. Now, the Home Minister, since his name is mentioned in this letter, Nalin, Home Minister in his interview had said that there was an ecosystem made of NGOs, activists, Lutyens people, including lawyers and editors and journalists, some people in the media. And it seems all of those have really come together. So this is the ecosystem defending one of their own. How do you see that?
Multiple aspects to this, Abhishek. The first is, and you understand that as a practicing lawyer, we all respect the Constitution and we understand that everyone has a right to say what they wish to say. And they may have exercised that right. But the bigger question is, no one can ask the Supreme Court to write or rewrite its own judgment because they felt had a view on it. If they are unhappy with it, somebody can file a review. A review can result in a curative petition. I mean, that is well known and at least all lawyers understand that. But one cannot, in effect, become a force or an extra constitutional body to actually give an advisory that the Supreme Court should be rewriting its or reconsidering its remark. So therefore, that is one part of it, which is about propriety. And we all have a common stake and a shared stake in ensuring that institutions have their institutional flexibility, freedom, and institutional respect. And they have to function in that. Judges can't be responding back to letters and writing back counter letters because judges don't have the liberty to come on TV, to speak on TV, to say things like this, put out a letter in response. So because they have to maintain that propriety, they can't all at the same time face an assault of this nature on a regular basis, which is becoming a pattern. It has been happening from 2002 onwards, consistently. And the person who was at the heart of that, all of it, and facing the brunt of investigations, 9 hours of interrogation, did Prime Minister Modi ever speak on it? Did he write any letter? Did he make a complaint? Did he say that no, the judges should do like this? He bore it out and waited for, and which is what Home Minister Amit Shah said, he waited for the entire thing to happen because he had faith that the law of the land will prevail and justice will be done. But here are people who for so many years have been involved in one way or the other. When finally a finality comes, you can't question the process in which they had a say throughout, but then eventually justice will prevail on the basis of what is the case, what are the merits of it, what is the evidence, not on the basis of desires of a certain set of people, how they would like to see justice meted out. So that's a large question. And I think this is not a correct approach of writing letters and trying to show that 100 people have got together and now the judges must get defensive. We have to allow ourselves to finally bow down to the might of the law whenever that takes place. If today there are further investigations by those who have motivated agendas, if they feel otherwise they are entitled to their defense, they will take that defense. They will also go before the courts. They will have a full freedom to say what they want. They are not stopped or permitted to not to do so. That's the whole long short of this entire.
Yeah. And I think, Abhishek, so, thank you, Nalin Kohli, for speaking to the Republic. So, back-to-back responses from the BJP, believing that it's basically the ecosystem to the defense. But you see that letter, it seems like an attempt. A few days back, Abhishek, one question with you and then we'll go across and break the other stories. When Rais Pathan, someone who worked with Teesta, spoke to Republic, was on Arnab's debate. Now he said there are many big political influential names involved, which is why the ecosystem is getting jittery. Do you think that's why now they're getting super active, hyperactive on this case?
Absolutely, 2 points. So going by the names, Anand Grover, Indira Jaising, Paranjay Guha Thakurta, Ramchandra Guha, Sanjay Hegde, Tushar Gandhi. I mean, if I could go to all 300 names, I could find at least 50. I have myself been witness to, in many ways, cooperating, assisting, engaging with Teesta in furthering that ecosystem. Number one. Point number two, I think when they say that the Supreme Court was part of the process, so why blame Teesta for these 16 years? But the point of the matter is that it was Teesta and this ecosystem which was sustaining this process despite the fact that the courts had said at some stage a stop has to be put. Also, remember, all these actions that were taken by Teesta and her ecosystem were based on doctored documents, based on false testimonies, based on falsified statements created and then gotten signed by victims and witnesses.
Yes.
And that's what the observation of the court is. That's the more important part. These people, by diverging or putting the onus on the Supreme Court, are trying to take away from the fact that she is being investigated for forgery, she is being investigated for embezzlement of funds, and those are absolutely different crimes. She is not being investigated for delay of 16 years. That's just an observation.